The girls are beefing, the girls are fighting, slurs are being slung around, accountability, respectability politics. Is it misogyny, misogynor? What's going on? Okay, what is going on? Now I'm Denise Brady, and I want to unpack a lot of Love Is Blind, Huda, Jessie Woo commentary, what's going on, and I want to explore some of it. I'm not here to gossip about Jessie Woo. I'm really not, but I want to explore respectability politics. Y'all throwing around that she's xenophobic, anti-black. I never liked her. Her commentary is blah blah blah. I've been unfollowed her. And how did this start off being about Huda? And I feel like the rhetoric has pushed her aside and made this a whole Jessie Woo versus Olandria and her capping for Shelly. Are y'all noticing that? How the Huda and Lewis part is being pushed out, and the focus is becoming on these three black women. Is anyone checking that or clocking it? Okay. But if you are new here, hit that like, subscribe, and let's explore some of this community repair. Is any of this repairable? Do we always have this at the forefront where there's this thing happening, but somehow because of commentary, because everyone wants to jump on a mic and make comments and have an opinion, the real problem of, Huda gets pushed away, and then it just becomes about the black women fighting amongst each other. Okay, and are they really fighting, or is it just too many people have opinions about these parasocial relationships that we have developed, people have developed based off of 3 months, 2 months of seeing somebody on an island. Okay. Now we know the original video. She got this call. Okay. And somebody saying something. They start laughing.
Whoa. Hey.
Yo, it's in the
Hey.
Yo, what did they say? They said a bad word.
I don't know if they were drunk. I don't know if they were faking it, but to hear that word and then your only thing is to what, huh? What they say? What they tell you? When somebody shows you who they truly are, believe it. And I believe Huda been showing us who she was from the beginning. Okay. They didn't hang up. They laughed first. Okay. They laughed first. And as quiet as it's kept, maybe Huda has a little bit of that Sierra energy. But because she was production's favorite, she kept the drama going. She kept the raids going. Maybe she was able to get away with some stuff. Let me know in the chat. But she comes out with this statement. First of all, clickbait using sensitive topics, insane, blah, 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 blah. It's a very generic, the backlash. I don't want to lose any of my deals with Gymshark. Y'all, I saw somewhere on there now, y'all reaching out to some of the people that she got business dealings with saying, y'all need to let her go. It's a Gymshark email going around that somebody sent saying, yes, we're addressing these things with our brand ambassador, Huda. Have y'all seen that? But it started off here. Okay, it started off here. But everything I have seen over the last 2 hours has shifted. Has shifted. And I want to know why do you guys think that the narrative has stopped? This has stopped becoming the focus. Okay. And now it's more about Jessie Woo's comments, her commentary. Okay. It's almost like, Huda's able to give this, generic apology. And because people choose who they like, who they don't, they pick up one piece of alive. Okay. And that becomes law. Okay. I've seen y'all say that Jessie has made this whole situation about herself, that she just big mad because she couldn't get that interview with Olandria, that she's always been a Michelle stan. Okay. It's interesting how this was harmful. This is where the real harm is. But the online reactions have shifted. Now it's about defensiveness and these different identities that people are holding and how they all collide. Okay. Now I want to talk a little bit about y'all in these parasocial relationships.
Between Jessie and Olandria, okay? There's no discourse. Let me tell you who Jessie is for a second, since I've been watching her give her take on Love Island. Jessie is a Michelle stan. I'm calling that lady Michelle because, yeah, I'm never going to call her Shelly again. Michelle. She's a Michelle stan. I don't hate Michelle. I don't hate Ace. I don't hate anybody from Love Island. But that lady, Jessie, she's a Michelle stan. I don't even really think she's an Ace fan. I think she's just strictly a Michelle stan. Because she's seen all the love that Ola was getting, she had to jump on board. Just kind of like how we had to jump on board for Shelly. Sorry, not Shelly, Michelle. But yes, that lady's a Michelle stan. If you didn't know that, well, you're welcome. Hello. Hello, we're here now. Okay, so take that. Take Ace's interview. She was trying to defend Ace and talk about all the wonderful things that Ace said, but not talk about all the terrible things that Ace said in that interview as well. And we're not going to downplay the fact that Ace had brought up the cold sores in the villa. We're not downplaying that. I see a lot of Ace stands. I wouldn't say fucking shit that Olandria is getting. And she cannot fucking handle it because that's her what? Her Haitian sister. Oh, yeah. Jessie Woo, she crashing out right along with Michelle, I'm sure. Michelle and Ace. Yeah. Let's not think too into this. Let's not go into any more discourse. I had a very weird feeling about Jessie Woo ever since she said that comment about Huda. And guess who got all the blame for it? EJ. They clipped that fucking video of their conversation, and Jessie was the one being the negative one in that conversation, not EJ. And EJ got, I don't know if he got unfollowed, but got a whole live taken down and everything because of Jessie. And did she come out in support and say that it wasn't him that said that negative shit? No. And not saying that they did say negative shit, but she definitely, you know, if you watch the video, you know. I had a weird eye on her about that because I love EJ down, and it's just like,
It's so interesting how people will love you, watch you, but then as soon as you do something wrong, you have good intentions, and maybe your opinion is a little bit too personal or not on par with group think. People come on and start to say, "See, I've been not liked her. I've been unfollowed her. I've been. Okay." It's only when the person does something that people feel like, "Oh, she said that. She only saying that because she couldn't get the interview. She only saying that because, Shelly is Haitian and she gonna stand by her Haitian sister." Okay. The opinions are okay until our you don't agree with it or it's against somebody that you really like. That's what it really comes down to. Okay. When the opinion is about someone that you have way up here, okay, that you don't even know, because the internet does not know Nick. They don't know Olandria, but our queen. You talk about our queen. Oh yeah, I've been stopped liking her. I've been. Okay, I've been. And I think it's so interesting that you're very much seeing the parasocial relationships, the black and white thinking, the divisiveness. And once again, what started this is going away. No one is getting, pushed out. It's getting pushed out because no one can touch the queen. This person that you only know from social media posts, from lives, from watching her be on an island. Okay. And no, there's no hate or anything against Olandria, of course. But I just notice how being on the internet and being a person who does commentary, I just notice how certain people cannot be touched. Okay. I can make a whole video about somebody, but if the internet loves them, they're gonna attack me. Even if they don't know that person, the internet's gonna come for me because they have developed these parasocial relationships that even if one clip, and let's pull up the clip too while we at it. Okay, let's pull up the clip.
You are asking Huda to do that, but then you see your fan base being very anti-Black and being xenophobic towards Shelly, who didn't say anything, and you don't say anything. I have to divest from that. Sorry, that's my stance. That's my stance. I have to divest from that. And it's sad because I love them both. They don't know me. Who gives a fuck? I'm pretty sure they don't give a fuck what I think. But I'm saying this as a commentator, as a viewer. I just could not support that. That's my personal opinion. That's where I stand on that. If we're going to require Huda to speak on anti-Blackness, racism, but we're going to stand by while our fan base is xenophobic towards Shelly, sorry, I can't support that. That's where I stand. Those who agree, agree. Those who don't. But that's my prerogative. Also, another thing too is, I know that this is months back, but I know that the Ace interview didn't sit well with a lot of people. But it just also was very weird for me to watch people use what Ace said to attack Shelly. Again, Shelly has never said anything bad, to my knowledge. I don't know what's happening behind closed doors. Don't know. It's when you are asking Huda to do that, but then you see your fan base being very anti-Black and being xenophobic towards Shelly, who didn't say anything, and you don't say anything. I have to divest from that. Sorry, that's my stance. That's my stance. I have to divest from that.
Now, it's so interesting how I think, the conversation with Jessie Woo, Olandria, Huda, it reminds me of accountability versus cancel culture. Okay. I think people want accountability from Huda, but when it comes to Jessie Woo, it's punitive. Okay. There's no room for growth. People have already made up their minds about her. So it's cancel her. Or I've been canceled her in my mind, is what a lot of people are saying. Okay. So I wonder, just from a level of accountability versus cancel culture, why is it okay for people to want, I don't want to say okay. Why does it feel like, to me, it's acceptable for accountability, apology languages, things like that to come out of the Sierra and the Huda aspect, but when it comes to Jessie, it's more punitive. There's no forgiveness. There's no accountability. We don't want accountability. We want to cancel you. And I feel like Jessie goes through this every 6 months. Okay. Every 6 months. Are we seeking punishment? Are we seeking change? Are we putting the punishment on Jessie, but want to see change from Huda and Sierra? Because Sierra and Huda still out here. Well, Sierra, she like, I ain't giving up my 15 minutes. I'm on minute number 8. And I'm gonna stay right there for a minute. Okay. But it's just so interesting to me that I think that, looking at both of these sets of women, Jessie Woo, some of y'all is Shelly in a situation, Sierra and Huda, I just think that, why is accountability an option for one side, but then the other side is like, oh, we canceling? Her little commentary people, I've heard people about say stuff about what Blue Centric, they want to know what Blue Centric gonna say. It's like, where do we start at? Did we start with here? How do we jump? Okay, how do we jump? How do we jump here? And I think, at times, once again, me being someone who's a commentator, I have good intentions, but sometimes I say it wrong. Sometimes I get it wrong. And when you're on the internet, you have opinions and thoughts that don't always align with group think. And you are also a woman of color, a Black woman, it's quickly canceled. What's she talking about? The commentators that come in the comment section love to tell us that we ain't shit. Okay. And that we need to stay in our place for having an opinion that doesn't match everybody else's. I feel it. I see it all the time. Okay. And I think there's a fine line here between, like I said, cancel culture and accountability. And there's a fine line between calling out prejudice, calling out and projecting internalized prejudices. Because some of y'all think that there's some internalized stuff going on with Jessie Woo. And everyone on the internet loves to be an armchair therapist, psychologist. Always because she has some internalized hate about her Blackness. And we're always quick to critique people, but not really know or care enough about their intentions. Okay. We don't take the time to really think past maybe a 5-minute clip out of her, 2-3 hour live. Okay. And I've learned over and over again, if you don't go with the crew, if you don't have group think, you're gonna get canceled. You have opinions. And that's the thing. She's a commentator who has opinions. Okay. But that's not allowed if once again you come for the queen. A person that the world has just put on a pedestal. All the pressure I'm sure that Olandria is under, that Nick is under because the world sees them a certain way. Okay. The parasocial relationships. And I just wonder, why are we so quick to hold one person to a pedestal? And then as soon as the other person does something or says something we don't like, make a commentary, we're quick to just like, I knew she was like that the whole time. So that's all the rhetoric, especially on threads. Even in this comment section. Jessie was full of it, blaming the fans on why she backed off Olandria. She's a straight up lie. I know the real reason why she backed off is so weird. And yeah, she wasn't being all the way honest. So this person claims to know Jessie, I guess. Okay. But Shelly didn't stick up for Olandria when her man went online to call her relationship fake and calling her a white man lover. Like, hold them all accountable, not just Olandria. When she is the victim right now? She is. Olandria is the victim here. I'm not trying to make this like saying that, Jessie is a victim. I'm not trying to say that at all. I just think it's interesting how this started off, being about Huda. And y'all might think that it has turned to Jessie being a victim or portraying herself as a victim because of her comments and less about this is happening to Olandria. Okay. This is not happening to Jessie. This is happening to Olandria. And I think it's also a good lesson that maybe we don't always need to pick up the mic. Okay? That sometimes commentary is not needed on everything. And that it can become harmful. It can be very harmful. Because I noticed that once again, as I'm talking about how this started and where it is now, it takes away from it being about Olandria, the word being used, how she's always somebody who is targeted just for being. And the conversation now has moved over to it being about Jessie, which takes away from the conversation about Olandria, about Huda, about how people use these words, have basic as apologies, no real accountability. And it leads me to go into we don't always need to pick up a mic. We don't always need to have, conversations, lives, because on live, you can't edit it. You can't be like, oh, wait, let me take that back. Because like we have seen, it gets clipped, it gets shared over and over again. Okay. It gets shared over and over. And I want people to recognize you don't always have to have an opinion on everything. Keep some shit in your group chat. You ain't got to make a video about it. You don't got to be on live about it. You don't gotta make a story about it. Even in my own conversations, I have conversations off rip with my friends that I would never say online, that I don't have a video up to my face saying. But we're so quick to maybe want to capitalize, maybe want to be a part of the conversation, that we forget that words have power. I think accountability does not have to be the same as cancel culture. We can hold people accountable and hold space for growth. It feels like in the world now we're so divisive that it has to be either or. Okay, it has to be either or. And I just think that people have these like online discourses triggered by and some of this stuff can be triggering. As a Black person seeing another Black person be attacked, watching Black women attack Black women. Think about, like, as you're watching some of these commentators, you're looking at threads, you're seeing all the comments. What is really coming up for you? Does it trigger something in you? Are we so fatigued by this kind of dynamic that's been happening over the last couple of hours that in a few days, people will move on and forget and keep watching Jessie's videos, go back and start following Huda, because we're in an instant generation of popcorn. Pop, pop, pop. Next story. That nowadays, I don't know if you really need to apologize. I don't even know if you really need to hold yourself accountable or reflect, because quickly the world will forget and move on. And there will be another story from Love Island, from another reality show. And I think the psychology of it is that marketers, companies know this. They know stuff will fade away. Can you even remember the last controversy that happened? Have people already moved past when Sierra got caught saying her stuff? Okay. There's always going to be a next little popcorn in the bucket trying to get popped. Next story, next story, next story. I think we're fatigued by so much information and commentary, so many people having a mic. We digest media so differently now than we did. I feel like probably even before the pandemic. In the last 5 years, the media has changed. But I want you guys to pay attention to the parasocial relationships, accountability versus cancel culture. Do we pick sides too much? Is there just too much? Well, I like her no matter what. She can do no wrong. And did, Jessie kind of make this more about herself and take away from this being, I don't want to say a moment for Olandria, because I don't want to say that, but an opportunity to have more conversations about how Black women are the targets of racism. And there's really no accountability from the people who bring that to the internet, who bring that with their fan bases. More of those deeper conversations about this is not going anywhere. Okay? Did her commentary take away from that? But I want to know your thoughts. Let me know in the comments. What does accountability mean to you? How do you handle being called out or hurt by somebody online? Has that ever happened to you? But if you found this helpful, don't forget to subscribe, like, hit that share button. Okay, send me some supers. Join the membership. Is only $1. But I think this kind of discourse is going to continue on, because we just pop, 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 pop. On to the next. On to the next. Okay. Yeah. We always fighting. No community. We just can't get along no more. We can't get along. And I think media is a problem, because everybody wants to have an opinion, commentary. We're only going to continue to become divisive. And the idea of community is slowly fading away. Everybody's on their own separate sides, their own islands, just trying to make it. And sometimes making it means making a video with opinions that will offend somebody or the coin. Okay. But of course, yeah, get in that chat. We get active in the chat, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye. See ya.